paper on green steel in front of you, and I will be speaking, you know, uh, a whole thing about the global scenario. But before the start, I would like to thank Professor Dinda, who has invited me for giving me this lecture. And I don't know, hope I will be, taking his whatever onus on me has put, I will be able to deliver the things or not. But I believe that today's seminar in this, I can get that 23 people are there, whether you are student of NIT Rourkela Metallurgy Department or anybody from other places could just be, Professor Tinda can tell me.
Yeah, no, sir. Actually, students are basically maximum from the outside of our institute, mainly
Right.
MTech and PhD student. Also, some industry experts are there, and few graduate undergrad student also here to listen to your talk, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introductions, and it was really a very big introduction. But I don't think I'll be, I'm not that as much that big, in that. So let me share my screen first. By can I share the screen?
Sir, please share it.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. Please, sir, continue.
Okay, thank you. Today my topic is green steel, a comprehensive study. So I will be talking about the situation and the scenarios the whole world is facing, and what is going to come, and what should be way forward, and what is the situation in India as well as the whole world, right? So before going into details of it, let me just put it in that way for the students is that the integrated steel plant, it is actually, it takes care of the raw material to steel making and it rolls and it gives you the final product in a single place. It is a very huge area where I think those who are from Rourkela, they can see the Rourkela steel plant. It's a huge area where from the raw material to the finished product it is produced. So this is called integrated steel plant, and there are mini steel plants which are a small industry where you can make small kind of mild steel as well as the alloy steel are required specification which can be produced in mini steel plant. Now this is a typical block diagram, you can say, where the whole steel plants in a single place. If you see from the coking coal to iron ore lumps and iron ore fines, sand, dolomite, limestone, quartzite, everything is left side of it, and then it is taken into the process, and then it is being processed through the sinter plant and coke oven plant, and then blast furnace, and then there will be SMS, and then CCD, and then there will be a rolling, and there will be a final product of some kind of fertilizers from the coke oven plant. There will be tar product, there will be benzol product, there will be ammonium sulfate, and also from the blast furnaces there will be granulated slag and pig iron, which is also taken into the SMS, and then SMS, they make billets and blooms, and then finally it brings rolls in different kind of shapes, which is given by the customer specifications. So this is what is the scenario of a whole steel plant. Now coming to the world steel scenario, what is exactly happening in world scenario? If you see that 1950 onwards, I have taken the data from 1950 as the India started producing beforehand 1950, but still we have taken independence from 1947. So if you see the production, world steel production, the situation is around 200 in the year 1950, and we have reached as high as 1963 million ton. in the year 2022 and 23 it has come down, but this year I think will be crossing 1900 million ton in all over world. But if you see the growth rates, if you see the growth rate of from years together, you see the growth rate has started coming down. Only between 2000 to 2005, it was 6.2, and then 5 to 10, it is 4.6, and again in the year last 2020 to 22, it has been very slow growth, which is very alarming. So if you see the growth rate, then there has been all the countries, they started increasing their production in the 1950s, and then slowly they have increased the production, and then finally gone into as high as 1900 million ton, and then it has slowly the growth rate per annum percentage wise, it has started coming down. So what exactly is, if you see the country wise, see China is almost more than 55% or 60%, 55%, more than 55% around China is producing. If you see that in the year 2023, China has produced 1019 ton, 1019 million ton, right? And India is distant second. It is 140, 140.8. If you see, but it is like a class student, there are two students, if you see, then first boy has got around out of 100 around 95, and the second boy got 14. But as we take pride of telling that we have we are the second boy, but it's not that, it's not exactly the same situation which India is producing now, but it is having some plan. I'm coming to that. I'll be coming to that plan. What is exactly India is trying to do? But if you see the other countries, they are distantly, just below 100. Only India and China has produced more than 100 million ton in a year in the 2023. And if you see the top steel producing companies, here you can see that the China's Bauau Steel Group is almost producing India's production. You see that it is 140 India is producing, and one single company in China is producing that. So that is why we need to buck up, we need to produce, and we need to at least, you see that there are some kind of some steel which is of ArcelorMittal, which has presence in India, and even ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel, they both clubbed together. They have started their business in India also, and as Indian group, if you see, in the 10th position, here it is Tata Steel Group, which is producing 29, around 30 million ton production, which is at the 10th ranking in the year 2023. Now coming to the production wise, process wise, what exactly is going on? If you see that all the countries have taken this data from World Steel Association. Here you can see that mainly the production in European countries as well as the Middle East, mainly the production is from through the basic oxygen blast furnace route, and there are some kind of production which is of electric arc furnace and induction furnace route. So this is a picture where you will understand why I have given this, because we need to shift from BF to BF route to electric arc furnace BOF route. So I'll come to that later. But if you see the scenario, it is really in case of, you see, Luxembourg as well as Netherlands and Greece, they Greece and Luxembourg, they are producing totally electricity based steel. Whatever they are producing electricity based. And in case of Netherlands, it is purely whatever they are producing is almost 100%, 100% of the BF route. In case of India, you see it is 140.8, which is almost half. Electrically, we are producing 56%, and we are producing 43.6% is around the BFBOF route, as per the India's concern. Now, if you come to the state-wise, if you comes to state-wise, what is the production level in the year financial year 2023? You see the place where you are sitting today in Rourkela, it is from Odisha, and Odisha is producing the highest quantity of million tons per annum in the year 2023. So hats off to the Odisha guys, Odisha people for standing first into the state-wise crude steel production. But there are two, three states which are not behind this, like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and West Bengal, as well as Gujarat. So they are in the two figures. If you see that they are also bucking up, but mainly if you see the eastern part of the India is mainly producing almost more than 60% of production of India, right? So last year, actually, total crude steel production we have produced around 167.2 million ton per. Last year we have produced, and if you see the map, you can see that Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and Odisha, these four states, clubbed together, has given almost 70 to 80% of production of the total country. Now, mainly, if you come to the production of India, you see that there are two kinds of route. One is BFBOF route, plus one is basic oxygen furnace route. Another is DRI, EOF route, and induction. EOF is electric arc furnace route, as well as induction furnace route. Now, if you see in India, around 30 million ton of scrap is generated, and out of which 26 million ton domestically, and mainly last 4 to 5 million ton of scrap is imported from outside countries. But in case of India, if you see that we have around 2,487 million tons of hematite and almost 5 times of magnetite, which is seventh the reserve of iron ore as a rank from all countries. So we are quite self-sufficient of raw materials of iron ore, mainly to produce the steel. Now, if you see that I was talking around, that 70% of the integrated steel making facilities are in the eastern part of India, where iron ore and coal are the reserves. It is there in this area. And if you see the coal part of it, mainly the public sectors, SAIL, RINL, they are around. They are bringing out coal from imported coking coal from different countries like New Zealand, US, Australia mainly. So that's why they are using the maximum amount of imported coking coal, which government has now has put up a different kind of strategy to use Indian coal also into the coke making. Now, if you come to the DRI-EAF route, though there is a abundance of iron ore, and there is also a scarcity because we are importing from the different countries. Also, there is another problem, which is that is the power tariff, the electric arc furnace and induction furnace. That is actually hindering us to go towards DRI-EAF or IF route in case of India. So that is why mainly in case of India we are using BFBOF route, which is very feasible as you say, as you go on. Now, if I see the flat products difference and the alloy steel, how much we are making, you see that the flat products are around 48%, and long products is 43%, and alloy steel is 8.5%. And India government has started a special kind of what should I say, is that they want incentive they want to give to the plants which produce a different special kind of steel. If you are able to produce a special kind of steel which will bring out the alloy steel part will, maybe 15%, so that there will be some incentive and we can be using those things which is being imported from different countries, which can be stopped. Now, if I just understand what exactly Indian industry, steel industry, to give an overview of the steel industry, which is really going to be changed, going to be undergoing a different kind of change into next maybe 7 to 10 years, which is very very critical to understand the Indian industry or steel industry. If you do the SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, you can see that which I was talking about is that abundance of iron ore and other minerals of steel. We have skilled manpower and low labor cost, because ours is a country where you get a lot of skilled manpower, and there is availability of manpower also. And if you see the weakness, because steel industry, to set up a steel industry in India, it's very high cost of capital. And the labor productivity, though there is a skilled manpower, the low labor productivity. Also, there are some cost of basic inputs like power, coal, fuel, which I was talking. High social cost, because we are, the numbers are very very high. Actually, we are the populist, was highest population. We have crossed China also in the recent past. So there will be high kind of social costs. Also, poor quality of basic infrastructure, which is government is forcing on this. Distribution network, there is a lot of distribution networks problem, like bridges, roads, that is being constructed by the government, but still it is, as per this concern, there are so many places where you are really we don't have electricity, as well as some kind of roads, proper right roads. Also, though we are leading into the IT industry, but still we need to take the average and the leverage of IT industry, which is not in consonance with the steel industry. Now, if I come to the opportunities, here it is, you can see that India is around 77 kg per capita consumption, which is very very low as compared to the other countries. So there is a scope for improvement of this. Also, the government is pushing for the positive growth. Also, there are rural market, as well as government is putting on thrust on infrastructure development, which I was talking. And the low export market penetration, because there are low export from the different countries, as we are producing some 140 million tons of steel. And there are some kind of threats, which is slow industry growth, poor R&D really. All the big steel plants, they invest 2 to 3% of the total turnover about their R&D. But in India, it is almost all the steel plants, they are at the level of below 1%. Maybe some people are below 0.5% also. So where there are poor R&D, and all the plants, like all the steel plants, though they are going for a modernization, but still it is of very, it is technologically obsolete. It is almost becoming an obsolete part of it. Also, there is a threat from different. It is not on the ferrous industry. There is another threat from aluminium, like plastic, polymers, and these things, so that they are replacing steel into different kind of applications. So that is what is also problem. And China, they are also, as they are producing very high amount of steel, so they are also dumping into the Indian market. So that also has become the threats. So if you see the total scenario, India is poised to grow, but we have some challenges. With those challenges, we need to. This can be, this can be overcome by concerted effort of you, me, and the government. All of us, if we are putting our effort, which who understands the steel industry better, for them, coming up with the challenges and the solve it, get it solved. It is not very, difficult for all of us. Now, if I see the India's future plan, you can see that India government has plans to double. Means like we are around 150, so we have to double the domestic capacity by 300 million ton per annum by 2030. Now, if you see that that 1947 we have taken in independence, and we are now, let us suppose, 1950 to 2025, it is almost 75 years almost we have gone up to, from maybe 1 million 2 million ton production to we have reached around 140 million ton. So this has taken to reach 140 million ton, this has taken India to, reach that stage around 75 years. Now you see the growth plan which our government is having, is that the doubling these capacity within 6 years, next 6 years. So what we have achieved in 75 years, we are going to achieve in the next 6 years. So the rate, the pace which we need to go is very, very high. It's almost, more than 12 times. So buckle up, all the students, I just tell you. So there are so many opportunities coming towards you, and India is also, the government is also pushing for that. Which I was talking about, that the per capita consumption is 76 kg, 77 kg, which is very, very low as compared to, world average of 233 kg per capita. So there is a scope of 150 around kg per capita increase of our, at least we need to reach the world average of 233 kg. So there is a scope for that. But as of now, if you see the cost of steel in India is around, hovering around 700 to 800 dollar per ton. So this is the India's planning of this now. So there is also a plan by the Indian government, which is, talking about, reaching out to the 500 million ton production in the year 2047. Like, we are 1947, we have reached independence, and within 100 years, Vision 2047, this is the India is going to produce triple, will be at more than triple production, which is around 500 million ton. Also, we are trying to reach 245 kg per capita steel consumptions from, 77 kg or 76 kg. Also, we have a plan of, that 20% of whatever we will be producing, out of that 20% of the steel production, like, this 500 means around 100 million ton of steel production will be exported, which is going to bring out, the GDP factor, which I am going to tell you in the next this thing, is that 3.5 contribution of steel sector to GDP will grow from 2.3%, which is now. So it is almost 1.2%, 2% of increase of GDP from the contribution of the steel sectors. Also, there is a point which we will be dealing, is that the carbon emission intensity reduction from 2.6 ton of CO2 per ton of crude steel, from 2.62 we will reach 50% of it is 1.3. India has, vision for net zero emission in the year 2070. So another 23 years down the line, we'll be, will be net zero emission country, that government has planned already. So this actually, going into this, talking about India's Atmanirbhar, making India Atmanirbhar in steel. where there 300 million ton by 2030 and 500 million by 2047. So this is what is the India's plan, which has been launched by our Prime Minister on 27 March 2022, plenary hall, Bigyan Bhavan, New Delhi. Right now there is also that by 2030 will be decreasing carbon emission by 50% from current level of 2.85 to 1.4, which will not only saves energy and decrease the emissions. Our consumption of iron ore as well as coking coal and the limestone also will come out to reducing the price, the usage. Now, what is the impact? We will be producing around 300 million ton. For each stage, there will be some kind of environmental impact of the steel industry. So these impacts are it is going to harm us and the next generations. So we need to be very careful while making steel. It's not that economy and the infrastructure will grow, but not at the cost of our life. So that is why you can see that these air pollutions, greenhouse emissions, which is very important burning topics nowadays. There will be water pollution from the steel facilities. This is contaminating our drinking water. Now almost we have stopped. I remember in our childhood days we used to from the school or everywhere where we have a hand pump, we used to drink those waters. But nowadays I don't think people are really drinking those kind of water. They are in cities, and almost all people are going for packaged water. So there will be days to come where each one of us has to go for drinking of water by buying water from the people. Also, while making the steel, you are generating lot of kind of solid wastes, which is also like slag, mill scale, dust, everything is being generated. Also, you need to dispose those wastes if you are not using it or recycling it, and then it creates a problem for the people, those who are making steel. So now, if you see a typical steel plant, what kind of solid waste is being generated, if you see that in the only 6.3 million ton, this is a data from RINL, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, where you can see that there are these are the kinds of dusts, these are the kind of water treatment sludge. You see that huge amount of dust, sludge, and again you can see the scales, mill scales, different kind of mill scales. Also there are fluxes, there will be slags, a huge amount of solid waste is being generated from a steel plant which is of 6.3 million ton. Now if you just extrapolate this to 500 million ton or 300 million ton, this becomes a huge problem for all of us to handle these solid waste. Now, coming to the carbon footprint of steel, in the year 2022, the average every ton of steel produced led to the emission of around 1.89 tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. Now, there are different kind of studies by International Energy Agency as well as McKinsey, and they have seen that almost 1.5 to 2 times of CO2 is being generated for making 1 ton of steel. Now the target is not very high. We need to bring it down, and there are different kind of approaches which is being targeted, being tried, being tested, and those things will be coming up in the next slides. But if you see the greenhouse gas emission as country wise, we are now in the countries 2024, we are in the third position, and China is in alarming, almost 5 times of our greenhouse gas emissions. So if you see that this world scenario, the greenhouse gas emission is very high in case of steel industry. But as there is a still demand, and also the infrastructure growth demand, there are hugely demand of steel. But remember that while making steel, we are generating solid waste, we are generating greenhouse gas emissions, all those things are there. But but people are not stopping themselves, by not producing the steel. But still we are, we are going out with the different kind of strategies to develop our economies. All the countries, they are, going for new factories, homes, infrastructure development. Like India has planned robust industrialization and urbanization. Similarly, if you see that there will be a lot of impetus from the government to produce more amount of roads, bridges, railway, etc. Everywhere there has been impetus, which is going to, increase the demand of steel. As projected, you see that today we are, if you are around 140 to 150 million ton, and we'll be reaching around the 500 million ton. But the resource efficiency is almost 25% less. So that is why we will be around sending around 20% of the production into the different countries. That is why India government has planned accordingly. Now, to mitigate these greenhouse gas emissions, we have, I have listed out around 15, 16 different kind of processes which is, from the coke oven, sinter plant, then blast furnace, as well as there will be in SMS and the rolling mills. Everywhere there has been a concerted effort from the steel industry, that there should be, whatever we are producing, whatever production we have produced nowadays, that has to be controlled, and there should be, usage of, improving the energy efficiency and mitigating the greenhouse gas emission. If you list out, if you see that the list, there will be, coke dry quenching, sinter plant heat recovery, and then wellness stops. Like, there are so many efforts has been put to bring down the greenhouse gas emissions. Now, this is one way of bringing down. Now, whatever we are producing, still we will be, making CO2 generations. So, what is to be done? Whatever we have tried to stop, we have stopped through the efforts which I have listed out. And if after that also there will be, provision of CO2 generation, as it is a very, fossil fuel used to make this steel. So we need to go for, capturing and storing of CO2 gas, which is very important for us to understand how we will do it. And whatever steel we are going to produce will be, CO2 has to be sequestrated, and sequestration has to be done. And then after that, this utilization and the storage also is important. Now, what are I have listed out three kind of, capture. One is post combustion capture, another is pre combustion capture, and then oxy fuel combustion. And whatever we will be producing, this captured CO2 into if it is converted into a different kind of products, synthetic fuel or building materials, which is, at least we can create a circular carbon economy. Also, we need to see the storage, because sometimes, the electricity storage is also very difficult. But similarly, we need to store the CO2 generation, and later on, if we can use it in a different way, there are different kind of processes of storing CO2. Some countries, they are trying to, bring those CO2 under the sea, and there will be, under the sea there will be limestone, which is CaO, and if it is, CO3, and if it is, broken and carbon dioxide is given, then that can be storage under the sea, so that, if some kind of CO is formed, then this CO2 may react with the CO, and making it limestone under the sea. But still, it is very highly difficult job, as well as also a very cost effective, very highly cost intensive thing, which is going to, stop us not to doing the storage as of now. Now, this is some kind of, if I want to say that in the case of Sinter plant, this is very old data. The plan, which I was talking about, the recovery of heat and some kind of waste generated, which is being generated into the plant, has to be reused. And if you see that there has been, uh, huge effect will be there, substantial, improving from 22.4 to 35.8 kg per ton of charge center. There has been a recycling this thing. Also, there will be, in the calcination plant, there are significant reduction of waste dump. So these are the small effect, which, which is, if you are willing to take steps that can give you a high hand into the reduction of waste generation, as well as waste utilizations. Now, coming to the technology level, there are different kind of technology which is being used all over world, and there has been R&D, there has been effort from the all the engineers, the scientists, and all the people, those who are making steel. You can see that in this slide here, this Hisarna, which is TRL level 6, technology readiness level 6, this is a carbon based, this thing, iron bath reactor smelting reduction. Similarly, in case of Alcos, which is a TRL level of 5 to 8, gas injection into blast furnaces. Then another alternative carbon sources, TRL level 2 to 7, which is Shocom, Greenleaf. 2, increased scrap usage, that is carbon based, which is TRL level 4 to 8, which is flex charge, adaptive. And carbon oxide conversion is carbon to chem and steel and all. These are all TRL level of 8 and 4 to 5. At least some kind of, some kind of effort has been put. But thing is that these efforts are all carbon based, so we need to utilize the carbon capture as well as the storage part for these, in these technologies to come and be being utilized. But there are another sources, another way of doing things, is that carbon direct avoidance. We need to replace the carbon with hydrogen, which is almost equivalent to carbon, like, this carbon, this hydrogen, which is very small and fast. This uses this technology which is coming up, where the hydrogen can be, hydrogen based direct reduction, where, Fe2O3 is directly reduced to iron, as well as there will be production of water or steam. And these are the technologies: hybrid, salcos, ifor. These are the technologies. There are another kind of technologies which is being used to carbon direct avoidance, is hydrogen plasma smelting reduction. That is the project example of is Sioux Steel. And there will be alkaline iron electrolysis. That is also another way of doing things that is being tried by Ciderwin, Ido, Escope. And then through electricity, the molten oxide electrolysis also is being tried out, but this is tier level 2, which is very nascent stage. Alcos, Aira, and Valerco. These are the technologies, the technology which world is trying for, to bring out the greenhouse gas to the minimum level. And Europe has declared that they will be making they will be stopping all the blast furnaces in Europe by 2026. But all these solution are these solutions are sufficient? If it is sufficient, then it's okay. If it is not sufficient, then we need to think of this. But the answer is clear no, because there are countries, there are processes which is already being used, or has to be isolated, and then new technology, huge amount of money, huge amount of infrastructure has to be developed to go for net zero by 2250. So I in this slide, I will pause and I will request all the students, all the scientists, all the people, those who are involved into steel making, let there be a thought on this to produce a steel which is really a green one. And if we are able to produce green steel, then only we can survive. Now if I talk about the green steel, is that, see, the greenhouse gas is really taking a toll on this, on us. So the manufacturing of renewable low carbon energy sources like coal gasification, hydrogen and electricity, as well as low carbon reducing agents like hydrogen, ammonia, natural gas, instead of traditional carbon intensive manufacturing routes, if we use, then only we will be able to come up with the solutions as of now. And there will be some kind of direct reduction route, also the induction furnace route, where but the green energy, the renewable energy, green energy can be used to produce direct reduced iron, which is of nugget shape, and that can be later on melted into electrical furnace and then produce steel. So to mix up these two, a Swedish company, SSAB, has come up with a solution which is hybrid solution, which is taking care of the high carbon, the greenhouse gas emission has to be taken care, and usage of hydrogen. Now, if I go into the details of the production which is now being used, is the left side of this slide, where you can see the iron ore concentrate, where the fossil fuels are being used and CO2 is generated here. In case of blast furnace also, we are using coke, iron ore pellets, those things are also being used, and there also CO2 generation is happening. In case of this pig iron is taken into the steel melting shop, basic oxygen furnace, and there will be oxygen charging, and then there will be production of CO2. So there are stages, you see, all these stages we are producing the CO2, which is very harmful for the environment. Now the new process which is being given us, which is in the planning in the pilot scale, where you are using some kind of uh, electricity which is of hydrogen, also electricity is of water, where you are using non-fossil fuels. And then the shaft furnace will be used. In the shaft furnace there, the hydrogen will be used, and then the production, the output of the steel is that hydrogen, and it will be taking steam and water. And then this electric arc furnace will be used, and where this electricity is also used from the renewable sources, so that the whole process is replaced with hydrogen and from the carbon, and the output of the product is not CO2, it is only H2O. So this is what is the thought of people are trying to implement it. And there are different kind of gas based DRI process. You can see that there are Midrex process and HYL process is there, where I will come to the Midrex process. If you see if Midrex process and HYL, I will tell you the difference between the Midrex and HYL is it is almost, the process is almost same. And the reductant is also natural gas, because in case of natural gas you get some kind of hydrogen. Then the feed is almost same, and there will be in case of Midrex there will be catalytic reformer, and in case of HYL, in case of reformer, we are using heater, which can be heated, through the renewable sources. Also, there will be reforming gases. There will be CH4, but there is still some kind of carbon process. But in case of HYL, it is purely partial oxidation as well as steam reforming, and then it will be the production. There will be production of hydrogen as well as water. Now, the temperature, furnace operating temperature is almost similar, but only the furnace operating pressure is different in case of HIL. Now, if I understand the importance of grain steel, a sudden and massive demand has started. World is really thinking of going out of this, because as all of us know, all of us understand now, the temperature, the average temperature has gone as high as 30 in India. And this year, last year, you might be seen that the temperature has almost touched 51 and 52 degree in some places. And there is a huge amount of temperature during our summer days. So these are all after effect of greenhouse gases. And if we want to reduce these greenhouse gases, you need to use hydrogen. But the thing is that once you are using this hydrogen, there will be a lot of effect on the production of steel. But but these can be replacement of some kind of, if you see, if you compare the total steel plants carbon dioxide generation, it is almost 40 to 50% or 60% around. Generation of carbon dioxide is from the blast furnaces. Now, if I take care of the blast furnaces through hydrogen instead of fossil fuel, what will happen? That the steel plants will not be, it will be able to control some kind of greenhouse gases. So that is why you can replace PCI. PCI, which is pulverized coal injection, by replacing with hydrogen. You can put hydrogen into it. As pulverized coal injection, coal goes as carbon inside the furnace and it reacts as a reductant. Similarly, a green hydrogen can be an alternative injection material for PCI, which you may think of it. Also, the hydrogen, green hydrogen, also can reduce. If you see that around 20% of the blast furnace carbon emissions, this can be this can be utilized in a better possible way, so that our greenhouse gas emissions are controlled. Now, if I see the hydrogen rainbow, where the renewable hydrogen is called green, where you see the fossil fuel hydrogen is blue, black, gray, brown. Is like green is wind, solar, and hydro. Any fossil fuel partial carbon with carbon capture, where natural gases are being used, and in case of gray, from the gas it is being used, and in case of brown and black, it is you can see that these are all fossil fuel are used to produce hydrogen. So it's better always to go for green hydrogen. Also, if you are not able to do it, at least use blue hydrogen, so that at least some kind of greenhouse gas emission can come down. Now, coming to the challenges. Now, after understanding the whole scenario of world scenario of greenhouse gas as well as the steel demand, we are at the juncture where we have to think about our future. So, what are the kind of challenges I want to throw it to the people? Is that first is that the low quality of iron ore. There will be high quality of iron ore which is being used nowadays, but there will be, while mining, there will be low quality of iron ore. There will be iron tailings, which is of around below 45% of total Fe, and there will be, between 45 to 55 of iron ore. These are all, used in the DRI manufacturing units. That is actually creating a huge amount of gang material, and also the metallization process is not getting over. So that is why the DRI process has become very, very difficult, and in case of EAF, the controlling of these steel and the refining of this steel has become really a difficult task for all of us. Also, to remember that degrading of iron ore quality with higher impurities, because as total Fe is coming down, the total the impurities like silica, alumina, that those things are going high. So we need to go for more amount of beneficiation, which is really cost, and for beneficiation we need to again create some kind of energy and the reduction of it, so that this cost of the ore also will go high. So that is why there is a challenge. Also, to remember that it's not that easy to break out the hydrogen from H2O and get it hydrogen, and it is stored. And another thing to remember that this hydrogen reduction process is an endothermic in nature. So temperature maintenance in case of DRI and in case of inside the blast furnaces also are typical issue which will be facing up in the coming days. So what is the way forward? What should be done? So we need to think of the increase of capacity, increase up to a capacity of generate renewable energies, and development hydrogen infrastructure. Like China is trying to break ammonia into and hydrogen, and then this hydrogen can be used into steel making. And there are other kinds of like electrolysis of water, which gives you hydrogen and oxygen. But thing is that it is not that the production of hydrogen, it has to be stored, and wherever required, like in our home, if you see that LPG is produced and it is being transported through a cylinder and taken into wherever it is required. Similarly, some similar kind of transportation of hydrogen or storage of hydrogen, because as hydrogen is very, very light, as well as the atomic structure is very small, so it will be as it moves very faster. So the storage of hydrogen will be a very, very difficult and challenging task for all of us, all the industrial people. And using it in a very safe way is also an important. Similarly, to implement those things, we need to have regular regulatory incentives, which is government is also trying. But in case of hydrogen production and syngas production and all those things, the government is really trying hard to bring out the awareness of our people. But thing is that the awareness and understanding of the green steel has to be, given to the people, each and every people, uh, to uh, to understand what kind of problem or threats we are going to face in the coming days. So to summarize the things is that I would like to tell it's you, me, and everybody has the responsibility of taking care of our life and the future generation. The future is only with us and you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the nice talk. Actually, means you covered a lot of things, starting from say blast furnace, BOF, DRI, including coal base, gas base, hydrogen, everything. So thank you for the talk. And now I requesting students, if anyone have any question, please raise their hand. I can unmute them. Then they can ask question to Professor Arghya Majumder. So any question? So sir, I have one question. Means
Yes, sir.
in general question. So in case of I'm a little bit interested in hydrogen DRI. So
Hmm.
thermodynamically, it is impossible to use 100% hydrogen in DRI because it's endothermic nature.
Yes.
So, but right now, say in any gas-based DRIs, it's just like say mid-rakes. Okay, we are using say producer gas say with CO plus H2.
Hmm.
So, with respect to say thermodynamic background, can we use 100% hydrogen in DRI?
It
So
is not.
what will be the modification we have to made in mid-rakes process if you want to use 100% hydrogen?
That is why people are really thinking of it, because the process, as you will be 100 using hydrogen 100%, the process become very sluggish. And kinetically, what if I say you that there will be lack of temperature, lack of the push towards the forward reactions. So that is why there should be some kind of catalyst, which I don't know as of now, which can be used to to the forward reaction can be in a it can give an impetus toward the forward reaction, so that 100% hydrogen can be used. But thermodynamically, as it is difficult, but point is that there are these are all batch processes. So what will happen, you take out the material, as you charge, you take out the material. So this actually the process moves. There is no equilibrium point will never come. So what will happen, so the process as it goes, we will be forcing towards the forward reactions, so that this will help us into bring out this, at least maybe 98-99% of hydrogen, which may, I don't know, but it is studied.
So sir, in that case, can we use instead of hydrogen, can we use ammonia? So
Yes,
ammonia, yeah, disintegrating, and that nitrogen that will provide extra heat.
exactly. That is what China is trying. I have talked in that also. China is trying to use ammonia. They are if we break ammonia, N2 and H2 will come, and these nitrogen will hold the temperature, and it gives the temperature which the hydrogen will be taking away from the reaction. So
So
that
in
is
that
why
case,
ammonia
so
is.
in that case, can we say it is green hydrogen?
It is green hydrogen, because there is no point in carbon is there. So as of now we are talking about carbon. So that is why it can be though you have pointed a right point, is that is not the CO2, it is also NO2, or these gases, NOx gases.
Yeah,
So
its gases will come.
these are also an issue. But as of now we are mainly concerned about CO2 gases only.
CO2 emission.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you, sir. So any more question?
I understand that there is no question. There are two things. One is that the student have understood everything, or student have not understood anything. So I rather to should try to understand me in that way that student have understood everything.
Okay, so no one have any questions. So thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank you
the
so much.
nice introduction to overall, say, in say integrated steel plant, the advance or say problem associated with it, the way forward. How can I do that? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay,
Bye
thank
bye.
you, sir.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.